Hey everyone, Stephanie from Mrs. D's Corner and Adapted Book Club. Today I want to show you the differences between the printable adapted book, so like printing it and laminating it, also using the different mini versions of printed adapted books, and then the digital version, and kind of explain to you or give you ideas for how you could use adapted books in your classroom, virtually, in person, simultaneously, at home during homeschool. Parents, if you're watching this, adapted books are a great place to start when you want to teach your students different topics on their level. Okay, so first, let me show you like the more traditional way that adapted books are prepped and used. So this is a book that is exclusively inside of Adapted Book Club. It is Things to Do in Winter. So that's the book that you're going to be seeing today, and I prepped it in all of the different ways just to show you how one book can be used and prepped in multiple different ways. I didn't want you to see a couple of different books and get confused or anything. I wanted you to see the same book in all of the different formats. So this is the level 1 book, and this is the level 2 book with the printed, laminated, add the Velcro. Okay, so I add like a back sheets where I store the pages. How you use this, you could use this in whole group or small group. How I've done it before is both ways. I like to do it as whole group, and I'll give each student a couple of pieces, like I'll split them up amongst my students while we're sitting at like the round table or during guided reading. So we're typically at like the kidney bean table, you know, the one that has like the U cut out for it. And then I will read the story and I'll go through it. And then students have to pay attention. So as they're listening, they have to look at the picture, but also listen to hear the text. And then that student will match the picture on the page. And we'll go through all of the story together as a class. And then we'll get all the way to the end. And then we'll answer the comprehension questions together. Now, for some of my students, I might ask each of them the comprehension questions. So what is the story about? Is it about autumn or is it about winter? Depending on the students that I have in my classroom that year or during that guided reading session, I may split up the answer pieces. You can put them on a paint stick and have Velcro on them and have students pull the correct answer off of it. And you can go round table, have each student answer a question, have each of them answer the same question, mix it up however you want to do it. The great thing about the printable adapted books is that they come with the comprehension test that you can print out as well. So this is the level 1. There are 2 comprehension questions for this story for level 1. And then this is the level 2 test, and they correlate exactly with the questions that you have in the book. The pictures are there, they're the same, it's the same exact question, and then you could laminate it if you wanted to reuse it every year with the story, the laminated story, and just use an expo marker and have them circle. Or you could print it out and have that as a work sample, send it home to let parents know what you talked about. You have a lot of different options when it comes to the printable tests, how you want to use them. Now you can use these printable adapted book tests with the smaller mini versions. So the smaller mini versions, I printed them, I don't know where I am on the camera. I printed them in 2 different ways. So you can print them 4 of the slide pages to a page. So when you open the PDF, you're gonna see 2 pages of an adapted book on 1 page. And when you print them using Adobe Reader, you can print multiple pages on 1 sheet. And that's how you print the mini books. So I printed mini books in 2 different ways. So I put 4 on a sheet, and then this is what 1 page is gonna look like, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4. I cut them and just stapled them. If you print them 2 to a sheet, so 2 pages of a PDF to 1 sheet of paper, they're gonna come out this size. Now I cut around the box. You could have students cut around the box, making it a great fine motor activity. It's also a sequencing activity to have them put the story pages in the correct order, right? So how you would use these is you would use, if you use glue sponges or glue sticks, however students are gluing things onto pages or into papers, all that stuff, you would use those to glue your answer pieces into this actual story. So these mini books are great for last minute additions to your guided reading lesson plan. So let's say tomorrow you want to do something on, let's see, a Thanksgiving turkey, how to cook a Thanksgiving turkey, okay? So let's say you want to do that, but you don't have time to prep the full-on adapted book like this. You can print them in mini format. I mean, you can print them in a larger format too. It just saves paper if you're printing one for each of your students. Print them in the mini format, and then you can send them home and they can take them home, read them with their families, and all of that fun stuff. So you just print the answer pieces smaller so that they fit in the smaller books. And then I like to staple it in the top corner, and then you just fold it, and you can do it together as a class. You can do it in centers, you can do it in whole group. You really have so many options when it comes to how you're using adapted books. You make them work for you. You make them work for your students in the classroom, okay? So those are some ways that you can use these printed adapted books in the classroom. Now, I have converted all of the printable adapted books into digital format using Google Slides. So these digital adapted books work on any device. So a laptop, computer, a Chromebook, a tablet, an iPad, a phone, any device that has access to Google Slides, you can use these on, okay? So I'm just going to open up my iPad. I am in my Google Slides app, and the Google Slides app is free. So you just need internet access first to put them into your Google Slides program here, okay? So I would recommend doing that on a computer, but however you want to do it works best for you, as long as you get it in here using the instructions that are in the download. It walks you through the whole thing. Then you can make it available offline, so you don't need internet access to read this story with your students. So you just need it to get it into your Google Drive. So you can open up the story, and unlike my other digital adapted resource or digital resources in my TPT shop and my website, these are used in presentation mode. So these are like clickable PDFs. So you are going to present it. You're going to put it in present mode. All right, and here we go. So how to use these is you literally just click. So there are many things to do in winter. Then you have the student choose the correct answer. If they choose the incorrect answer, it's going to prompt them to try again. So it's errorless in the sense that they have to click the correct answer to keep moving forward through the story. Now, if you wanted to add, there are different plugins that you could use to your Google browser to add your voice reading the story in here to them. It's not already included, but I would still do this in a small group and have them read it to me, or I would read it to the student and then they would choose the answer. Oop. Touching it too quickly. I want to get to the end. Okay, so once they get to the end of the story, just in like the printable books, you have your comprehension questions. Here we go. What is this story about? Same exact questions that are in the printable books are in the digital books. Same clip art as well. What is this story about? Winter or autumn? This story is about winter. And if they give you the incorrect answer, again, it's going to prompt them to try again. Which activity can you do in winter? Can you build a snow fort or can you cheerlead? And then you can build a snowman in winter. And then once they get to the end, you're finished. You can use the level 1 or the level 2. It's the exact same thing that you see in the printable books, in the digital books. Again, you can use those in your virtual classroom. You could use those in a center in your physical classroom when you're back in the classroom. You could use them simultaneously to have students working on them at home during distance learning while you have students in your classroom working on the same thing. You really have so many options when it comes to how you can use and implement adapted books in your classroom. If you have any other questions about adapted books or want to learn more about Adapted Book Club, you can use the links above or below depending on where you're viewing this. If you're on Facebook, I'm pretty sure it's going to be above. If you're on YouTube, it's probably going to be below. But there are links to Adapted Book Club, different adapted books in my TPT shop and website shop. And again, if you have any questions, please reach out. I am always happy to help. Until next time, see you later, guys.